Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to.
Greece, from Economic Outcast to Euro-Area Outperformer.
Just remind us, what was the
It seems
situation
like Greece
like
has a
in
lot of
Greece a
options
Like,
as of recently.
honestly, I feel like every time we do videos about Greece, it's either it's going like shit
Really?
or it's
Oh
doing
well,
great.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
so
yeah.
bipolar. Like, I feel like it depends on the channel. We pick one
I feel
channel,
like,
it's like Greece is the worst country in Europe. The other channel, it's the best
mm,
country in Europe.
I feel like it
It's
depends on
crazy.
what sector we're talking about, because there's some areas that are thriving, and of course there's others that are not so much
Mm.
doing well.
It's very polarizing. That's what it is.
Mm.
decade ago?
But I
And
think it's
also
worth
from whose
reminding ourselves what
perspective too, as well, that they're talking on the behalf of, because in one perspective it looked like the government is doing well and then the people are struggling.
I think I kind of think you nailed it on the head. I think statistically, from numbers wise,
Mm-hmm.
Greece is doing great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think looking down at the people, how people live, I think the people don't feel that way. So
No.
I think that's exactly what
Mm.
it. That's why we see like such a bipolar, where
Mm.
statistically, like the GDPs and all of them,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I think they look good. It looks like a
Mm-hmm.
growing country, great economy.
Yeah.
But when you talk to
Yeah.
people on the street, they're like, it's
Because
rough.
it seems like most of the money is pouring in from outside investments and also planning for like more investments into development and real estate, attractions, pipelines. These are lots of things that mostly gonna pull in outside investors and also then local
Mm.
investors, or even impacting opportunity
L-
for local
Yeah,
people.
local economies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about this now is because exactly 10 years ago this week, there was a referendum organized in Greece on the terms of a new bailout package organized by the then left-wing Syriza government of former Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras. His party had been elected the same year on the promise to end austerity, and his government had advised the electorate to vote against the terms of the new bailout package. Of course, whilst that did happen, the government was forced to capitulate and apply the terms of the package as was presented. Also worth remembering, the week before that vote, there was the introduction of capital controls in Greece to end exodus of capital, obviously. We were limited in Greece to withdrawing 60 euros a day at ATMs. There were queues at
Damn,
ATMs everywhere. And all of this in the
that's
backdrop of
crazy.
a country that had effectively been excluded from financial markets for 5 years,
I never
that
heard
had
of that
missed a
before.
deadline for payment to the IMF.
They do that when it's about the bank about to crash. So like
Oh.
what there was a bank that went bankrupt here in the States not too long, like a decade ago or so. I don't remember.
Mm.
It wasn't like a major bank, but it was a mid-sized bank. I think
Mm.
that when the first news came out that, oh, the bank about to go bankrupt, everybody started pulling the money. So they had to do that. They had to limit the withdrawals on ATMs.
Mm.
So I think
I remember that in the news about
it,
them not being able to pay people on payroll or
it
something like
it
that.
was it was about a decade ago or
Yeah.
so. There was like like
No, I remember something more recent.
maybe like 2016, 2017. I don't know exactly, but
Mm.
there was like similar situation here too. They shut down
Mm.
the withdrawal. There was not shut down, but they were like limited withdrawals from the bank to kind of,
Mm.
yeah. So
That's so scary.
I think the withdrawals here is, to kind of to deal with that, the whole economic crisis.
IMF, where economic activity had virtually ground to a halt, where unemployment was massively high, and where there were violent demonstrations on a daily basis. And we didn't know at that time whether Greece would be either asked or forced to leave the euro area. So it was a very precarious situation 10 years ago, and it's the anniversary of that this week.
Oh wow.
So that's the history, but let's look to now. What's the picture like today there?
Well, as you mentioned in your introduction, the turnaround has been quite spectacular. Worth pointing out, the New Democracy government of Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis was elected for the first time in 2019. Since then, 2 years ago, Greece regained investment grade for the first time. The country's borrowing costs are now lower than Italy's. Even though the country has a high debt
Ooh.
level, it's now on a sustainable path and is envied by others, some of the euro area partners. Economic growth is above the average for Greece's European partners.
It's not worth it
That
unless
said,
it's envied. It's interesting that he emphasized that.
Yeah, but I think kind of what we talked about in the intro, like all the economic markers are doing great for Greece. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the idea. Yeah.
GDP levels per capita are still lowish. Poland and Romania, for example, have overtaken Greece. There has been a marked increase in investments. Some big names have come to Greece in the past few years, such as Microsoft, Pfizer. Italian bank Unicredit was the latest to show its confidence in the Greek economy by increasing its stake in Greece's Alpha Bank. And many of the people that had left the country 10 years ago have started to come back. The government did offer some tax incentives for that. And whilst not everyone has come back, people are seeing that there are opportunities here and have decided to return home, as it were.
But Paul, when you talk about that recovery, is everyone benefiting from this turnaround equally?
That is a priority of the Prime Minister, Kyriakos Mitsotakis. He mentioned that this week, actually, given the anniversary of the referendum, saying his number one priority is to make sure that everyone benefits from this economic improvement. Greece, in fact, is one of the few European Union countries that's achieving primary surpluses, budget surpluses, sorry. And that is enabling him to be able to, for example, increase benefits.
He's
increased several times the minimum wage. There is more work around. But despite all of that, I think most people would agree that the benefits of that have been effectively cancelled out by the higher cost of living. As in many other countries, there were increased energy costs following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, but that was particularly marked in Greece. And still, many people are having to hold two jobs, even to just make ends meet, to survive. So while there's a general feeling that things are better, there's still a way to go.
Subway's
That's so
protein
interesting how he's tackling that, because they have a surplus in their budget. So what do you do with this surplus, and what's the best use of that money?
They still have the debt to pay back though.
But they say surplus.
No, the ending. Let's finish this commercial. The end.
the perfect way to fill up for your day. Like
the very last screen showed that they owed like I think 31.6 billion in debt.
Then you don't have surplus.
Right. I don't know.
Because in your budget planning, you still have to account for your debt.
Yeah, I don't.
So I think you would have a surplus after you
hold up, the video switched.
You finish paying your debt.
Here. Okay, there you go. Greece currently owes 31.6 from 2010 bailout.
So why he said there's go back to where he said there's surplus.
How far? Where do you want him to go?
Yeah, go back, yeah.
More?
Play.
Is achieving primary surpluses.
Achieving primary surpluses.
Sorry. And that is enabling him to be able to, for example,
for example, increase benefits.
I don't know exactly what he means by that.
That's
because
confusing.
they clearly have debt to pay, so it's not like maybe the surplus in the budget, but the debt is on top of that. So maybe they're paying the debt already, but there's a surplus above the debt payments, because there's set debt payments, so they probably make them and they cover the debt payments and they make surplus above of that. But if they have surplus, they could pay the debt faster. They just choose to use it maybe for allocate for other resources. I think maybe that's what he meant. I'm not sure.
Let me see the comments. Let me see what people got to say.
Yeah, but the Greece is interesting because, like, you see this video. What's the name of this video, real quick? For Greece, from Economic Outcast to Euro-Area Outperformer. Then there is this other video we're gonna react in a couple of days. Why living in Greece has become impossible. So it's like literally
a completely different perspective.
It's just, to me, it's like so wild. But let's see these.
Because he reported the perspective from government position.
Right.
Completely.
Yeah. There seems to be an army of Greek government loyalists that massively comment this video, but the truth is that Greece has become so expensive for local that most of the young is migrating. Not a single word about breaking corruption scandal in the Greek government, the above-average tax burden on the population with a below-average GDP per capita, or the erosion of trust in the political system, to say the least. Very incomplete portrayal. People disagree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's honestly, now that I think about it, video could be like a government propaganda.
Who's the channel?
Bloomberg. So like, no, it's official channel, but the government could just be like, oh, do a good video on Greece. I don't know, because it's
well, they are showing that they're paying their debts and they are looking good, in the sense that you have like foreign investors coming in, having faith in your country to develop, which is good. but there's a disconnect to what happens primarily in their
Yeah.
hospitality service industry, where a lot of people work. I don't know. What's
It's
the other sector?
interesting.
What
It's
you call
interesting.
the tech? I guess the tech sector, like
The
the other type of jobs that you can have in
well,
Greece.
tech. Then there is the, remember we saw a video.
Mm-hmm.
There's potentially like oil under Greece, like
Mm-hmm.
the resources, the minerals.
Mm-hmm.
That sector they need
I wonder
development.
if it's like primarily people from Greece who occupy those jobs, or do they have like foreigners come in to do that? Because I know in Europe they're very particular in terms of what you call certification, who's
Yeah,
allowed to do which jobs.
I don't know. I don't know.
Um,
I would think if the Greeks are struggling, they would give the jobs to the Greeks, not to the foreigners. But who knows?
mm,
But yeah, very polarizing country. Very
yeah.
very interesting to
I
see
mean, you
from
see right through it.
yeah
Like
from.
even the language he was saying, it was quite vague, but very clear that,
No.
it's in favor of government.
Mm.
Mm. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord, and as always, share as much kindness as possible.